What is good, people? It's the Ramsky back HTML tutorial. In this video we're going to be talking about some of the HTML5 structural elements that you could use to structure your web page. Now in a previous video I had talked about divs and spans, the difference between those. Those are both containers. Both are very useful for structuring a web page as well. So you may notice right off the bat that I already have a div in here, and divs are just fine to use. One thing that some people still do is they use tables to lay out their web pages, and I think that was just a habit a long time ago. What developers used to do is they used to use tables to structure their web page, and then when the div came out, the div element came out, and they just had trouble adjusting to the div element, or they were just so used to using tables to structure that they didn't even bother to change. So I inform you thusly to use either div or the new HTML5 structural elements to structure your web pages. Alright, something else to talk about just real quick is the link tag. I have included some CSS so you can basically presently, if we didn't have a style page, it would be really hard to see the structural elements in action, but since we have a style sheet attached to it, it's going to be pretty easy to see those structural elements in action. One of the things I do want to talk about is the link tag. It's up here in the head section of the HTML page. The link tag includes a rel attribute that is set equal to style sheet, a hyperlink reference attribute that is set to the path where the cascading style sheet is located. I put it in a folder called styles with a file name of just main, and this type just indicates that it's a text file that includes some CSS. You can actually omit this attribute if you would like, but I include it because it's just one of the habits that I've gotten used to. So let's just dive in. The first structural element I want to talk about is the header tag right here. One of the things that I want to mention about HTML5 structural elements is they're semantical. So like header is for the heading of an HTML page. So basically what I'm saying is the element's name describes what it does, and in this case you have the header, which represents the header of a web page. And then the next one I want to talk about is the hgroup that is included with the header. Usually encompasses a company name, the website name, and then maybe a motto or a tagline. So you see here I got the heading of fake company, and then the motto of where everything is fake. That's one of the things I included. If we go ahead and switch over to the web page, you can actually see where the header takes place. Fake company, where everything is fake. Obviously some styling came useful to make everything look a little bit better. I got the company's name to the left, tagline to the right, but we will discuss CSS in a future video. It's not for HTML5 right now. The next thing I've included is a div wrapper that wraps the next two structural elements. A wrapper basically just contains these two items, which is why I ID'd it as wrapper. And within it we have a nav element, which obviously stands for navigation. Navigation for other pages that you may include in your website, like home. These are pretty much basic links that any company would have. Home, about, contact. Maybe maybe a products page if the company sells products. And you may also notice that I have an unordered list with list tags. This is just a typical thing you see is when you're listing out the navigation, you will use an unordered list, which is what I did here. Typically when you're making navigations, you will use an unordered list to control the style a little bit better of the lists. I could have easily omitted these unordered list and list tags and just had the hyperlink element only, but I like things a little bit more structured than that. So, just a refresher, header is for the header, nav is for navigation, section is obviously for the content area. Some people may put div ID equals content. Section will also get that done as well. And if you want to see nav and section in action, you have the navigation over here, which you can see it really well with that dark gray background, and then you have the content area, which is all white over here. And obviously with a little bit of styling, it makes it look a lot better. Otherwise, everything's just stacked on top of each other, which I will show you at the end of the video. The last structural element I want to talk about is the footer, which, like header, it's self-explanatory. It's the footer of the web page. Usually what you contain here is maybe the copyright info, contact information if you don't already have it on another page, but that is what footer is used for. And you can see it in action down here at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and zoom in a little bit. Yeah, see, there it is. And because I'm zoomed in all the way, some of my stuff went away. Oh, there it is. Oh yeah, that's right. I made the header element fixed, but we'll get into that later. Don't worry about that. Alright, so those are the structural elements I wanted to talk about. You could have easily made this with just divs, but it's all about preparing for the future. There's a word for it, I just can't it's on the tip of my tongue. But anyway, it's about development for the future, stuff like that. HTML5 is what it's all about. But you could easily, the old stuff works too. Having, div ID equals header, div ID equals navigation, something like that. Div ID equals content for the section, and div ID equals footer. You could have easily done that. HTML5 structural elements are just divs with different IDs, so to speak. That's, all that really is. Now, if I got rid of the link here, you would see what I'm talking about, how hard it is to see this in action. It's a little bit better. I guess that it kind of looked like here's the header, here's the navigation, content area, and the footer, but without the styles. And you can see how bland it is without the styles. Alright, so that's pretty much what I wanted to talk about in this video, is the HTML5 structural elements and the link tag. We'll get into more things, more topics with CSS and the link tag, and stuff that has to do with Cascade style sheets, and another tutorial which is CSS when we get there. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave a comment, drop a message, shoot a message, and that's it. Thanks for watching this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Later!